Hi guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner. Today I thought I would share a little project that I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on a couple of cards today, but I'm going to cut out a bunch of my favorite dies that I've held on to over the years. So I'm not going to be using that shamrock, but I'm going to be using the little peep from Gina Marie Designs, and then the grass and bunnies and baskets are from Impression Obsession, I believe. I'll leave a link below, as well as the little coiled flowers. You know, those are the little rolled flowers that you can make. I also have a large egg and a jelly bean. So I've already colored these two eggs with some regular distress inks and those blender brushes that I got off of Amazon. So I thought I would just show you me coloring one of them. And I wanted to mention again how easily, very easily, they wash and dry in between uses. So very quickly you can dry them as well, which I like. So I wanted to have a green, a pink, and a blue Easter egg for one of those baskets. So I'm going to go ahead and do my blending for the blue egg. So I'm going to start on one side. I'm going to focus the dark ink on that side. I'm going to turn it around, and when I turn it around, the ink that's left on the pad is going to be super, super light. So that's going to create just a little shadow and then leave a little bit of brightness, even though it's a little bit of blue, a little bit of brightness in the center of the egg. And it just gives the egg dimension, which is all I'm looking to do. See, isn't that super pretty? So the dimension is a little bit different on every egg, and I'm okay with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some color to my jelly beans. I cut out 4 jelly beans, and I'm doing a purple, a pinky color, an orange, and a green color. Now I'm going to be going over them with the Nouveau clear dimension, the crystal glaze. It's a clear dimension, like glossy accents, and as you can see, it makes them look shiny and just like real jelly beans. It's super, super cute. Now I'm making the two cards are going to be really different in style. I'm going to be using the peep on one of them, as well as the jelly beans, and I wanted it to be dark and a little retro maybe, and then the other one is just going to be classic pastel, kind of classic looking. Okay, so on both of my baskets, and these baskets are from Impression Obsession, I believe that's what it's called, ID I think. I am using a blend of browns and my blender brush that I got off of Amazon. The link will be below, guys, if you want to check them out. I'm using antique linen as my base, and I'm using that just in the darker areas, just where I'm going to be adding the color, right? To start off with. And then from the antique linen, I'm going right into vintage photo. If you guys have watched me for any length of time, you know that vintage photo is probably my all-time favorite brown. I just love the warmth of it. I absolutely love it. And I love to pair it on top of the antique linen. It just changes the tone just a little bit. From there, I'm going to go in with walnut stain on the edges of this one. And then I'm going to go in with ground espresso as well, which is a super dark, dark brown. Then I'm going to blend back in with the walnut stain, and then I'm going to blend back in with the vintage photo, and then back in at the end with the antique linen. And the reason I do that, it's kind of like the same way I use my Copics. It just adds a lot of warmth and dimension to whatever I'm blending. I wanted these baskets to kind of really have a look of a real basket, and even though they're not going to be real dimensional, you know, they're just going to be lying flat more or less on a card, I wanted it to give the illusion that it had dimension. So on the first basket, I'm going to keep it a little darker in tone with some lighter areas, and on the second basket, I'm going to use only the 3 of those 4 colors. I will use the antique linen, vintage photo, and walnut stain. By the way, those jelly beans I did in purple, I used 2 different colors purple to get that purple jelly bean. And then one of those jelly beans on camera looks like it's red, but it's orange, and that was with carved pumpkin. The other one is festive berries, and the fourth one is twisted citron. And the eggs were twisted citron, festive berries, and Blue Lagoon. Was it Blue Lagoon? I think it was Blue Lagoon. Not 100% sure on that though, guys. You might have to stop the video and look. It might have been, I know it wasn't tumble glass, it was the one in between. And isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So I'm going to change up my blending a little bit for the second one because I didn't want both these cards to look identical. And aren't they pretty? Yeah, they turned out really nice. I love doing wicker basket or wood scenes, period. So I've cut out my little peep and put the eyes on. I use lemon yellow, or that lemon distress ink for that one. I've also colored up some buttons, which I'm not going to use for this project, and I've rolled up some flowers, which we will be using for this project. And then the grass leaves are also from Impression Obsession, and I colored it with twisted citron and peeled paint. Now for those flowers, I rolled them up, I got them wet first, let them dry, crinkled them up a little bit, let them dry. And then I'm going in and I'm adding my whoa, sorry guys for that crash. I'm adding the Gamsey Tammy pearl colors, the pastel pearl colors, and I'm going to be adding that in the same color shades as I did my eggs to the flowers, because they're going to be down on the bottom of the basket. So I'm doing one yellow, one green, one blue, and then two pinks. And I could have done this with just regular watercolor and then added shimmer on top, but this just gives me the shimmer already, and I think it is super, super pretty. So I'm just going to color those in. When I am done with the painting of each one, I left a little white areas in some spots, just barely. And then I'm going to just pick them up, and I'm going to pounce the ends of the petals in to that paint that's on my craft sheet, just to give them a little bit of extra color right on the edges. I'm going to let those dry completely, and then I'm going to re-glue them on the bottom because they have separated a little bit after I got them wet, and I knew that they would. That's okay. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do all the flowers. I'm going to pounce them in just a little bit into the color, and I'm not sure I'm going to show you that. I might. Let's see. Yeah. And I'm just going to pounce. I'm doing this to each one. I just pounce it in, add a little more color to the edges to make it a little darker on the edges of the flower, and it just adds a little bit of dimension to especially the larger of those flowers. Okay, so once I get done doing that, I'm going to clean up that mess, and then we're going to move on to arranging everything into the basket. So that's going to be my next step. So this is what I came up with. I put the one peep and those jelly beans on either side with the spring of green on the back, and on the other basket I added the 3 eggs, one little spring of the green, and the flowers on the bottom. I've cut out 2 sheets of designer paper that I thought would look the way I had kind of envisioned for this. I've added a piece of fun foam to the back, and I'm using, of course, my favorite art glitter glue to adhere it down to a white card base. So this first card is going to have a white card base, which is a top folding 5.5 by 4 1/4. The second card is going to be off-white, and it's not going to pick up on camera very well, but it's an off-white linen kind of color, which is also what's in the background of this paper. Now I chose stripes for both of these cards. I don't know why. I sat here in front of my pads and tried all different things, and I just really today felt the stripe. So that's what we're using. I'm using a really pretty, I think both of these are from an Easter pad even, and I'm just using the very pretty pastel colors for the eggs. I thought it just made it pop. So on the back of my basket, I've added 3 pieces of double-sided foam tape, and then I'm popping it up that way on top of the card, and then I'm gluing the handle down, and that adds a little bit of dimension as well. So a little bit of my eggs and a little bit of my bottom of my baskets popped up, and then my handle is flat on the paper. I do the same thing with the peep basket. that has those realistic looking jelly beans, and I'm adding a piece of ivory ribbon tied into a bow to go up on the handle, as instead of having flowers on the bottom of this basket. I thought that was real kind of old-fashioned, kind of, I don't know, I really like the look of both of these cards equally. Even though I'm not a big fan of Peeps, I thought it just turned out super, super cute. And of course, I love the basket altogether. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.